first step in fishing these backcountry brook trout streams is finding them. You're looking for a blue line on the map. The streams got to flow year round, and you just kind of go prospect. If you're putting flies through good pools during the time when they're going to hit flies and you're not catching anything, the stream probably doesn't have much. If you put a fly on a good pool, something should be whacking at it, even little guys. So you should be able to find them pretty easy once you pick the stream. The gear for this is simple. I've got a 6.5 foot rod, the Hardy reel that balances it. I think it is worth getting a rod just to do this and getting a smaller one because there's a lot of obstacles to trying to cast. The fly that I use, I've got a vintage Adirondack pattern, Sable Wolf, and that fly's probably caught about 30, maybe 40 fish, so it holds together. It's a great attractor dry fly and works really good on these blue line streams. I carry my whole tackle pack, which you don't need. You only need like one box of flies. Sometimes you need a net if you get bigger fish. when you refloat your fly after you've been fishing, I always dunk the fly somewhere other than where I want to fish. Because if you throw out at a trout that you've seen rising, the fly's going to have its own little oil slick. I've made that mistake before. Presentations on these guys are easy and they're not. I mean, you basically got to sneak into the pool so that they're not going to see you when you cast, so you want to be a little bit downstream of them. And most of the casts aren't very long. My rod is 6.5 feet, and I'm usually casting at the most a couple feet of fly line, sometimes just the leaders, so you don't really need long casts, but you need to be accurate. And it gets tricky. Some of these you got a little plunge pool coming in where there's current, and right next to it you got a dead spot, so it wants to drag the fly upstream, so you got to get a drag free drift and keep as much line off the water as you can. These little brook trout, I mean, if you catch a good one, it's 10-12 inches out of these streams. Nice ones 7-8. A lot of them are going to be 6 or 5 or so, and you want to keep them in good shape. I have a rubber coated net, but a lot of times for these guys I don't use it. I'll just bring them in, wet my hand, and then just work the hook out and try not to handle them at all if I can. Just let them go. Barbless hooks are a good idea to get them off easy. These trout are a great resource, and we need to protect them. When I was younger, you really couldn't find these streams. There were a few streams where you might find wild brook trout, but when I was younger, we had the acid rain situation, and there was probably other issues that led to their decline. But they've been coming back, so I don't keep any of these fish. I release them all, and I try to release them all unharmed. Another thing with this is I wore waders today. You don't really need them. I mean, you can wet wade. Today the stream's down enough. I could have done hip boots. So all it accomplished was getting me hot. But that's another neat thing about it is in the summertime, sometimes, you know, the regular trout streams heat up, but these stay cool enough that you can fish them without doing any damage.